Hello, and thank you for watching ANO. My name is John Olsen and my colleague
Almonte Leclerc.
And today we're going to talk about the situation about the virus, what it's doing to us, what is it doing to our society. About to say, Mitchell, isn't it? Today we wake up and we heard that Vodafone is launching 5G in parts of the Netherlands, and there was another news that came across, and that was about the medical director of medical care in New York. Her name is Lorna Bean, and she stepped out of life because she couldn't handle the pressure.
Wait a minute, you're saying that Lorna Bean,
yes,
a medical professional, stepped out of life, committed suicide, John, because she could not handle the pressure.
Yes. The thing is, she saw so many people suffering and dying, and together, and in her free time, she was also active with elderly people. Because of that, she also suffered at a certain moment of the virus, but she rested and she became strong, and then directly stepped back into her job. But then the pressure became so much that she couldn't handle. Everybody's talking about respect, but the case is she's actually the third in line of these people very close handling this issue that actually cannot handle the pressure. So it says something about what is going on.
Of course, because I remember Thomas Schaffer,
yes,
this German minister who also stepped out of life.
Yes.
He committed suicide, and some colleagues was saying that he did that because of the situation with Covid-19 in his country and the world, basically.
Yes. So there's a lot of pressure, and at the same time we're stepping into a new reality. There was also news came about that the emergency measurements, that how everything was treated in our society, how we go along with the 1.5 meter, how the police should enforce that. Now that is being transferred into emergency law. So before it was not stated in the law as it is, but it doesn't mean that you can just do whatever you want, because the police was enforced to keep it installed. But now they're making from the measurement, they make it law. So my question about that is how dangerous, or what is the implication of that on our society?
Yeah, basically, John, as I'm hearing you speaking these words out, I must think about our situation in the Netherlands. We are living here with more than 17 million people in a country that is not really a large country. Holland is a small country. The Netherlands is a small country with a lot of citizens. Yes. 17 million, more than 17 million. And we have a government, and this government has taken measures that are restricting our human rights in the sense of our privacy rights and our freedom of movement, because we are being restricted to 1.5 meters. We are being told that we must stay home if we don't have something urgent to do outside.
Yes.
They are using the law. They are using the law to back up these restrictions. And in Holland, you have this. How can I put this into words? You have this coordination in the country about 25 veiligheidsregio's.
25 safety regions.
25 safety regions. And you can see that the mayors have an important place on managing these 25 safety regions. And these mayors, they are using law. They are using law to restrict rights. And right now in our society, our Dutch society, there is a voice that is turning stronger, that is saying, hey, wait a minute, what you guys are doing is unlawful because it's against the Dutch constitution.
Yes. So are we moving into an Orwellian society?
Well, if these voices are coming out, and also of professional people that are saying, "Wait a minute, government, you are bringing all these restrictions, but it is unlawful because it is not in line with some articles of the Dutch Constitution." So what is happening at the moment, as you already told, that the government is quickly making new laws to make the situation in line, to bring it in line, in order with the Dutch Constitution. So this doesn't take away that these legal professionals, these professors, that they have a point, that they are taking restrictions, applicating restrictions which are not in line with the Constitution. So this is a point.
How does it affect our human rights?
Well, it affects your human rights in the sense that right now, if you want to go outside and you want to have a protest, then they are saying, for example, you cannot have this protest in Holland because of the situation with COVID-19. But these professors are saying, yes, you can go outside, you can protest, but you just have to keep your 1.5 meters of distance. So, because according to the Dutch constitutions, the right to have a protest is a fundamental right of all the citizens in the Netherlands, for example, but also the privacy, because right now police are stepping into people's houses. And so these professionals are saying what is happening here is unlawful. If you want it to be lawful, then you must create new law to bring your restrictions in line with Dutch constitutions.
Okay. So is it not just like a logical follow-up of the rules and the measurement, or is there more going on? Is the government maybe afraid that they will lose the grip of society and that they need to put things strict in order?
People home, they are thinking like, how much longer do we have to stay home? How much longer must I wait before I open my business? Because we have this gentleman, Mark Schalekamp.
Yes.
And this gentleman, Mark Schalekamp, he has a website and he is going to take actions. He is saying that our economy is dying because of these measurements taken by Dutch government. And he has a lot of entrepreneurs that are sponsoring him. He has several hundred thousands of euros to come in action. And you know that the 5th of May in Holland is a very important day. It's the day of freedom in Holland. And Mark Schalekamp is saying that on this day, or around this day, the 5th of May, entrepreneurs must come into action. He's saying that the barbershop must open. He's saying that the Dutch cafes must go open. Of course, wearing protection for the mouth and the nose. But he's saying action must be taken.
Yeah. Wow. That seems something is going to happen on the 5th of May.
It seems as if something is going to happen if it depends on Mark Schalekamp, because he does not believe in the measurement that the government has taken.
There is this scientist, his name is David Coleman from America. He says that all this we have called upon ourselves because we make choices. We want to have very cheap traveling, we want to have very cheap products, very expensive products. So it causes our society, our world to move in a certain way, that we move together very closely. Just as soon as we lay down the measurements, we will come back together, traffic will go on, international. So a new pandemic is on the way. So actually he is proclaiming, or he is stating that this new reality of 1.5 meters should be permanent. So I think maybe this Mr. Schalekamp, he has a case.
Definitely, John, there are a lot of people who are standing with Mark Schalekamp. There are a lot of professionals who are saying, legal professionals, that what the government is doing is against the Dutch constitution.
Yes.
But there are also people who are saying that the measurement that the Dutch government is taking are the right measurements. But the people of home, they must take a decision themselves. They must come to a conclusion because, as you just said, 5G is also being rolled out in the Netherlands in the midst of this pandemic. One might say that there are people in the world who are in some way or the other taking advantage of this situation.
Yes, and to make it clear, we're not saying that 5G has a connection with the corona crisis before people start writing us about that, but there's nothing, because we cannot prove it at this moment, or we cannot prove it. I also don't know if there is a proof about it, but we like to hear what you're thinking about all these things, what you're thinking about the new society. So please write us, share your story and your opinion, because your opinion matters. My name is John Olsen, my colleague
Almonte Leclerc.
and thank you for watching ANO.